What's up, everybody? It's Brandon from Box Office Banner and Cult Flick Symposium, and I'm here to talk about the third Evil Dead installment, the last with the great Ash Williams. Well, I say that, but there's like a post-credit scene, I believe, at the end of Evil Dead, not The Evil Dead, the fourth installment, directed by Fede Alvarez, and I cannot wait to dive into that one. But of course, we cannot skip over maybe debatably the most popular Evil Dead movie. I think when people think of the Evil Dead franchise as a whole, they think about two first, I guess you could say. But as far as like pop culture, like abroad, like even people that aren't big horror fans, they would know about Army of Darkness first. So they heard like a line from it. So this one's definitely going to give the other movies a run for its money in terms of most popular movie in the franchise. By the way, comment down below. What do you think is the most popular movie in the franchise? What movie do you think is the best in the franchise? Because I will say this much. While I did, yeah, kind of giving away shit, love this movie when I was younger, I don't love it anymore, but I do like it a lot. I like it a lot. I just, something about Army of Darkness for me. This one dials up the campiness and shit even more. Which really, I don't even know if that's true, but it's like a different type of campiness. Because when you were watching Evil Dead 2 and all this, I've said it in the last review, that one's the sweet spot. Because all this shit was happening to Ash and it happened to be funny. Like, he was going crazy amongst it, like, oh my God, like, what is going on? Like, that type of crazy. And that made it so funny and so crazy with his charismatic performance, and it came off as this hilarious fucking blood romp of a movie that is entertaining as fuck to this day. Nothing's changed about that. But in this movie, you already get a little bit more playful and weird by taking us to medieval times. Now, granted, I got to give you this. That's at the end of Evil Dead 2. So Evil Dead 2 technically is the culprit for making Army of Darkness this way, or at least most of the way that it is in terms of setting. You know, if Evil Dead 2 didn't do that, then Army of Darkness maybe could have went a different direction. But, and I guess they could have ignored it, but like, I mean, Sam Raimi's at the helm again. He obviously had a plan here, right? So why would you do that? But either way, the medieval time makes it even more preposterous. And then also the jokes, even though, like I said, Evil Dead 2 is funny. In Evil Dead 2, all this stuff was like a product of reactions that were happening to Ash. When you go cross over an Army of Darkness, it's like they know exactly what they are now, and they take it that step further. Like, Ash is in on the joke. Like, Ash is even like blocking, like they're trying to like poke him in the eyes. He's like, oh, like laughing at it while he's getting poked in the eyes. And he's in on the joke. It doesn't feel as authentic. It wasn't that natural laughter and like the goofy Three Stooges-esque type shit that they added in this one, where they dialed that up to a 12, definitely takes me out of the movie more. It's a lot more self-aware, which is good, but sometimes you can be too self-aware. Evil Dead 2 is lightning in a bottle. This was trying to rediscover that magic, and you tapped into it almost a little too much. That's how I feel about Army of Darkness. In saying that, though, is Army of Darkness a good movie? Fuck yes, it is. I get the appeal from the masses. Hell, I get the appeal from me. Because even though I've said this shit that I've said prior, it is still such a fun fucking time. I love the fucking Army of Darkness. I love the ending where they have to go to war. I love the fucking plot where Bruce is just like, I should say Ash, but Bruce Campbell, Ash, has to go and he's got to say like the words a certain way. And of course he's like, it's this, it's this. And he fucks it up and he unleashes the Army of Darkness. It's just a crazy fucked up tale that I'm happy is in the Evil Dead universe. As far as one-liners and shit, again, we're dialing into it a little bit too much, but I do love the one-liners. This is my boomstick shirt from Army of Darkness. What does he say? Oh my God. Like, the only person you're talking to is Jack and shit just left town or whatever. Jack just left town. I'm not good at remembering quotes. I do this shit off the cuff, but every stupid one-liner he has, you know, those one-liners that everybody just eats up when they're, you know, they were from that time, or if they grew up with these types of movies, just work here. Like, they knew what the character was at this point, and they were able to double down on it. And while that did cause, you know, them, I guess, some detriment from my point of view, it also did help them. It's like they couldn't find that middle ground to where it's like they could dial him up and make him great, but also they took it a step too far, which Raimi, as big of a fan as I am, tends to do from time to time. You know, I mean, all the one like, yo, she bitch. The whole, just thinking about it just kills me out. Because, like, at the same time, though, like, could anybody do this and pull it off the way they did as Sam Raimi, though, dude? Like, it's just, like, why does this even work at all? Like, you take what worked about the first one, and then you remake it or reimagine it, and you dial it up in the second one, and then the third one, you take it an even step further. Like, it's almost to the point, because if you look at it, man, step by step, there is just levels of this shit where each movie progressively goes in a direction. I really wish we'd have got that fourth Evil Dead to just see what Raimi had in store for us, because it probably would have drastically changed again, and the movies progressively got more wacky. So, like, I don't even want to know, but also kind of do out of curiosity what Sam Raimi would have conjured up with the fourth one. Like, what in the fuck, dude? I mean, of course, shop smart, S smart. I mean, I guess maybe they would have done it in just the regular world, like in the city or some shit. And then Ash, where he's bragging about how he was this guy and nobody believes him. Actually, Raimi's brother is the guy he's bragging to. And he just has to save the world. He becomes legitimately Superman to these people. That would have been fun. But again, we're going, while it still would have been good, going a little bit further away from the territory of Evil Dead that I love. So in a nutshell, I loved this movie growing up. I still like it a lot. I really do. I give this movie a 7.8 out of 10. I almost can say I love it. 8 out of 10 above love, but it's definitely not one I skip over. This is still so on point, but in comparison to the first two, which are 9 plus and above on my scale, there's definitely a dip here, and this is definitely a movie as I've gotten older. While I have nostalgia for it and I really, really enjoy it, it has not aged as well like the first two have. But again, a blast from the past every time I turn it on. And if I'm in the right mood to see Ash go, you know, in on the joke, full on crazy, like when he's battling the little versions of himself. And he's fucking, the one of them, he swallows it, he fucking drinks like hot water, trying to burn him out. And he's like, it's growing. And he's like having a fucking fight. You know, like, if I'm in that mood, or maybe I'm just in a medieval mood, fuck Game of Thrones. We watch Army of Darkness in this house. Just kidding. My daughter's literally named Arya after Arya from Game of Thrones. I love Game of Thrones, but you know what I'm getting at. It's a fun, whimsical, crazy fucking ride, and it's definitely a certain flavor that some people don't like so much and other people just absolutely love. Used to be one of those people, still like it. Army of Darkness is still where it's at, though. We can confidently say that, right? Right? Right. The Brandon on my shoulder agrees. Love you guys. Peace.